So today we will look at not a very well-known application when we are looking at a combination of Lightroom or Photoshop. This is called Luminar 4, currently version 4. And I'm sure birders will absolutely love this, as also any beginners. If you ignore the digital asset management part where you can actually tag photos and search by tags and stuff, that is absent currently in this application. But other than that, it is probably the simplest and easiest to use and create dramatic effects by just using a few clicks and sliders. No other application currently in the market offers anything close to this. The AI based enhancements which are part of Luminar 4 are absolutely wonderful additions for most people. Even the layer implementation here is far better than ON1 Photo Raw and does not create any new files. It just renders from whatever you gave it in the layers. So let's just dive in and see what we can do with Luminar 4. Now these are my photos from my rooftop, all of May, April and so on. We have the entire 2020 and 2019 and stuff. So let's start with some of the latest. So as long as you have a clean sky kind of a background, this is the first thing that will totally impress most. For example, this parakeet. It has a blue background, something that I used to think was boring till I started compositing. Now Luminar has looks instead of presets, categorized into different areas. Let's look at just the essentials. We can go into edit here. You can just apply a preset, undo that, and here we go into the creative mode where you can actually replace skies without doing anything. You can select from the built-in skies or load your own custom image sky as you wish. Now for this simple image, I have not done any settings so far. I will just choose one of the sunsets and look at the dramatic change. Let's just zoom in. Oops, it's gotten in there also. Let's try this, which will make it even clearer. So you have masking here as well. In case you come across these, you can just pick up the brush, choose the erase mode and just erase that particular area. We'll just reset this image, go back into a grid mode and pick up yet another similar image, again a blue background. We are in edit mode. These are all the looks you can directly apply, and you don't have to really do anything much beyond this. The noise, you can simply go into the essentials, denoise and have that cleaned up. The denoising works really well here. We can also go into AI enhance, which is already applied, and you can put these as needed. So it's just a few clicks and a sliders. Let's go back and reset these adjustments. Go back into the creative mode and choose another dramatic sky, and it's a perfect replacement. We can also relight the scene where the sky color will be matched on all portions. We also have some advanced settings where you can actually defocus the background image to make it look more natural if needed. You can also flip depending on how you want it. You can also add haze, change the sky temperature and the exposure of the sky. So I'm only looking at this one major effect here, and let's reset this, go back to our grid mode. Now even a simple image as a plane flying past, we can do the same thing, make it totally dramatic. So we zoom out, select the sky, let's say sunset. Oops. So it has not recognized this particular sky, and it happens. So we'll just reset out of this, go back, and let's try this plane. So we go into sky selections, and this one works. We can do a dramatic sky on this. And all we need to do to make it really pop is go back into the essentials, the AI enhance, and pull up on these sliders to a point where we like it. And of course we can crop the image. You can actually add more details to it using the AI structure. We can even boost this up if we want. We can enhance details even further, although not for this particular image, but generally yes. Now this was the before and this is the after. If I choose a split view, you can see the complete transformation in just a few clicks. So let's reset this again, go back into our grid mode. I have added some images that we can actually see the effects on. I haven't tried these, so we are trying these together. Let's go back into our sky replacement. This, let's try, okay, and we relight the scene. If you can see what happens, let's try a different sky, a dramatic sky. Oh, that's even better. And like earlier, we can simply go back to AI enhance and just dragging on these sliders to enhance the image. Let's go back to the grid mode, try our regular birding stuff. If I recall, this is from Dhanori. Let's go back into sky replacement and let's try this one. Wow. If we do a relight, okay, so let's try another one. And we can actually go wild. That's not bad. Let's try this one. And once again, we can go wild and see what happens. This is just one click, totally transformed. You can always go back into essentials, the AI enhance, the sky enhancer, and you can denoise if needed. We go back into creative, the advanced settings here, and we can defocus the sky if needed. I would prefer to remain here in sharp focus. Let's try another one. So once again we'll do the same thing. We'll just try a sky here. Let's say sunset 2. Just look at it. The entire colors are matched. Everything is done automatically. We can make it even stronger or pull it back. The blending of the horizon can also be controlled. This is useful in some cases. And again we can go back straight to our AI enhance. And that's it. Let's try another one. This, for example. We go back into our sky replacement. Let's say dramatic sky 3 and we crop it to where we actually would like to have it. Somewhere there. And once again we can go back to our AI enhance. Just pull up these sliders. In case you find some noise, again just a click and sliders. And if needed, like in this case, you can also go and try and remove the color cast automatically. You can also go into the light panel, pick up the white balance adjustment, and there we have it. We can again go back and select a different one. So that's the beauty of Luminar. You don't have to do much. Okay, let's see what the sky selection does here. This is a JPEG file. It's shot from my mobile. Wonderful. It's a near perfect job. Let's relight the scene so it matches. Let's try this. So that works. Let's try the next one. Again the sky selection, and it totally transforms the image in a single click. Let's try the next one. Once again we'll just choose a different sky, and that's about it. Since we do have the option to edit the mask, we can potentially remove these, but as long as you have a clean shot, none of this really matters. And let's try this. This is again a JPEG shot from my mobile, and we'll see what happens here. Again a perfect replacement. And if we do this and relight, watch what happens even in the foreground. And if we select something like this, you can see the foreground is also matched. So let's try the next one. A peafowl again. Now this is mostly on a overcast day, but Luminar does seem to recognize the sky even under these conditions. So the same thing applies. We can go back to our AI enhance, the accent, the sky enhancer. Let's say AI structure to boost up details. I'm just pulling this a lot more than one would actually use, so we can see the effect on the video. So let's move to the next one. This is again a JPEG. We go back into our sky selection, and it works even here. So we just relight the scene maybe go back into our AI enhance, improve the sky also. If needed, we can boost up the details, and that's about it. You don't need to know much to make an image great. So the next one is Sparrow. We'll do the same thing here. It totally changes the image just by changing the background. And yes, you can adjust a lot in the background. And let's try another one. Again, the same thing. Just adding these clouds totally transforms how you view the image. And of course, you can use your own cloud shots. Let's try another one. Now this is over water, not really a sky, but let's see. And it does pick up water also. So this is amazing. From water, it's gone into the clouds. Absolutely amazing. Let's try another one. Same process. It's a clean blue background. And look how it's relighting. And now you can see it's more on the whiter side. And of course, you also have some dramatic stuff like sun rays. You can place the center anywhere you want, increase the amount, and play with all these sliders. You can also add maybe more birds. Now notice all of this is just click and dragging of sliders. You don't need to know much. Okay, let's see if anything works here. Will the water be recognized as a sky? We don't have it. But let's go back into our AI enhance. All I need to do is drag up these sliders, which totally changes the image. This is the before, this is the after, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, Mr. Coppersmith, but once again, a clean sky background, and we have this selection enabled. Let's say a sunset. Your image is totally transformed within seconds. You can again go back into our AI enhance, AI structure for more details, and so on. Let's try. Okay, these are flamingos. Now this looks pretty dull. Let's see what a dramatic sky can do. Or maybe this. So as you can see, it's just simple clicks that totally transforms the entire image into a different experience altogether. You just select and done. And of course, ideally, maybe 1 or 2 clicks more just to enhance and choose the right kind of background. Let's try another. And this is obviously on an overcast day, which is why you don't see the blue, but Luminar does recognize that sky. And a total transformation again. Let's try another. Once again, you don't see the blue of the sky because it's not really bright enough, but Luminar does recognize the sky, and it's totally transformed in just that one selection. Let's try another. Again, a clean blue sky, our eagle, and okay, it's a 2-in-1 shot. What does a sunset do? I would like to have this slightly brighter. Let's see. That's a lot better. Again, one simple click, and then you crop it to taste, and that's about it. Export it to a JPEG and share it. This, of course, is a major landmark in Delhi. And let's try a dramatic sky on this. Oops, that is interesting. Did not work. So let's undo this and let's try a trick in case that works. Decrease the temperature, and nope, doesn't work. Let's try another. The hornbill. Once again, clean blue sky. One selection totally transforms the image. Let's try another. This is from my rooftop on the building in front of me. Once again, the not so blue sky is recognized and replaced. Let's try another. Now this is obviously not very clean, but we do have enough of the sky. So let's see what happens here. Okay, it's gotten the entire sky all over, which is not bad at all. But for these kind of images, I would still keep to the blue sky with some clouds, so it looks natural and bright. Let's try another. It's a similar image of a bee eater, and let's just replace this with a bright blue sky with some clouds, and it totally transforms the image in just that one click. So here we have our Indian roller with a catch, lunchtime, and we go into, let's say, okay, this kind of darkens it. Let's put it back on a, I would like more white clouds on this. Yeah, and of course, where needed, you can always go back into the AI enhance, fix whatever, and export to a JPEG. Set whatever, and you're done. Do we have more? Okay, I have selected plenty more, so let's see this. The sky is recognized, so you have these options and you can play around with this. This is the next one. The sky is recognized, so there it is. Beautiful. Okay, almost fitting the frame, but it's a clear blue sky. So it's as simple as one selection to transform this. Okay, this is obviously not the sky or overcast or even water, and Luminar still gets the white, which is not bad. Can it replace? Oh yes, not bad at all. So we can actually choose something like a brighter sky, and maybe use the mask to just fix this part, and it becomes a totally different image after cropping it. This is water. Let's see if Luminar recognizes anything here. No, this is not enabled, so this doesn't work. This is shared by a friend of mine. It's a Canon file CR2, and we just try a replacement on this. Works great. So we can actually change the mood just by a simple selection and a bit more of relighting the scene. It's gotten an area here which we can actually mask out using the brush. Pick up the eraser and just wipe this off. Click on done, and that's about it. Let's take a look at the next one. Again, a clean blue sky. And a total transformation. Once again, a clean blue sky with these kingfishers, and yeah, see, we haven't even done any basic adjustments, and the image is totally transformed to this washed out original to this in just one selection. Okay, there is actually a portrait section here. Just like the AI enhance, you have this portrait, you have a skin enhancer, which is very similar to the AI tools that we've been using. And let's just zoom in and see what happens. Watch the skin. Shine removal. If you see that, the shine is gone. And now this is also very interesting, the AI skin defects removal. Watch some of these areas. I turn this on. You saw the spot there? Watch again. I turn this off, I turn this on. There's a spot here, spot here. Luminar recognizes all that and removes it. And of course, we can increase the light just on the face. Red eye is not really, but let's say we whiten the eyes a bit more. You can see the dramatic change because I've simply pulled up the slider to the max. Eyes, notice the brightness of the eyes is also enhanced. The dark circle removal, a simple slider. You can also slim the face down, enlarge the eyes. Now Luminar is clever enough to not let you go beyond reasonable limits. Improve eyebrows. You're just pulling it up to the max. Now let's say the lips, the saturation, the redness of just the lips. You can also make them darker. We have no teeth here, so this won't work, but you get the idea. Let's take a look at, okay, friends of mine, and in this one we can actually use both. We go back into our sky replacement, the creative mode, select maybe a bright sky, Hopefully this one is bright. Now as you can see, the image itself, just by this replacement, is totally transformed. And we haven't done anything excepting just to select a sky replacement. Now let's just go back to our portrait, and once again we can increase the light just on the face. Luminar recognizes the faces. We'll just go into the skin enhancer. Let's see what happens to the skin if I pull it up. It's been smoothened out. Shine removal, although there's not much here anyway. We go back into, since we have teeth here, let's just pull this to the max. Now the interesting thing is, you can see the effect of this slider, but it's not whitening them to an unreal level even at the max. Of course you would not use 100%, but it's a totally transformed image, and we can still go back, change to whatever else we want here, or maybe even a proper sunset, relight the scene, go back into our AI enhance, and that's about it. Let's try another one, kind of dull, but let's see what happens in our sky replacement. Oops. So that's another one it failed to recognize. Let's move on to another one. Okay, this is again a plain sky background. We do a sky selection here, and that works, but not this sky perhaps. So it's gotten some of these wings which also had a blue in them, which we can use the eraser to wipe out. Let's try this one, the Egyptian vulture on a overcast day, so it's all white, and let's make it blue. Perfect. Let's make it a dramatic sunset, and of course we can always go back, use the AI accent, enhance, and it's still kind of underexposed, so we can do this. Note how the exposure is affecting only the vulture, not the entire background, because that's a replacement. So it is intelligent. Let's try this one. We have some of the sky there. Let's see if Luminar gets it. Oh yes, nicely done with a crop. That's about it. Of course, the nori, famous for the Saras crane. Once again overcast. Let's see if we can make it blue, and it's still got some of the blues in the wings which will have to be masked out. Again, this is not sky or water, but let's see if Luminar does think it can replace. Okay, not a very good job, but good enough for fun. This is from my mobile. It's a JPEG, and normally I would not even bother with the JPEGs, but it is a total transformation. Let's try a sunset and relight the scene. Watch the foreground. A fairly decent job. Our fruit bat, kind of dingy. Let's, oh, the simple replacement works great here. Let's try another. Again, our dear hornbill. The blue sky is more than visible. I think there's a bit of blue in the white feather also. And yes, it works. This is probably overcast because we don't see any blues here. Let's see if we can make it blue. And yes, perfect. Works. Let's try this. This is obviously overcast. It's a total white. And Luminar thinks it can do something with it. And it does. Not bad at all, although I would use a different sky, but it's a great job. Let's try this. So we already have a sunset. Let's see if we can change that. Oh, it does change it. Not bad. So the white, overcast, the blue skies and the sunset skies are recognized. Okay, this is plain blue, so this should work without a second thought. You can probably plug in whatever. Yes, works perfect. This is overcast as well, but let's see what Luminar thinks. Still thinking. And a near perfect job, but I think we have some blues here. No, that's perfect. So we can change to whatever sky we want, or even our own sky shots, which is fine. Dull kind of shot, but let's see if we can just make it a lot better with a single click. Oh yes, that works. We can of course relight. We can change to a slightly more dramatic setup. So that works. Let's try this one. Probably low light, but let's see. Perfect, works. Let's try this. Does not seem to be very approving of our replacements, but make it dramatic. Oh yes, again perfect replacement. Not too sure why I have this here, but let's try another. Mr. King. Once again, I think this is overcast, but let's make it a blue sky and see. Yeah, that works. And again, we can always go back, fix the exposure, go back into AI enhance, use the accent, can go into structure to increase the details. So basically you don't have to know much. Let's try the next one. We go back into our creative panel and yeah, perfect, works. Let's try this. Okay, so this is in the sky, not in the water. And let's just replace. It has picked up the blues from here, so not really perfect, but works. Okay, similar one. Let's see what happens here. Okay, this works perfectly. Let's move on to, okay, so this is a panorama already. This I think was made in Lightroom, so it's a fairly large image. It'll take time to load up. Yeah, it's from Lightroom, DNG. So someday. Okay, let's do a sky selection here, and it seems to work great. Wow, that is really nice. Obviously, Luminar does not recognize the crop from Lightroom, and I'm not going to crop it here because it will take probably some time. But it's a beautiful result just on a click. I would want to go into AI enhance and see. Maybe I'll work on this later. Let's take a look at the next one. There seems to be no next one. Okay, so that was the last. Now if I just look at these rooftop images during this lockdown, you just pick up any of these on a reasonably plain blue background. You don't have to do much, simply go and replace the sky. And if you want further improvement, just go into the accent, pull those up, use your own sky, and that's about it. And that is why I think birders will absolutely love this application. Beginners will have a ball, so do try it out. There is a trial version available.